To define your values, you need to start by looking inward. This process requires deep reflection on what resonates with you at a core level. It's not about what looks good on paper or what you think you should value, but rather what feels right to you. What drives you? What makes you feel alive and purposeful? What principles do you hold dear even when no one is watching? These are the questions that will guide you toward understanding your deepest values. Values often stem from your personal experiences, the lessons you've learned, and the people who have influenced your life. For some, it may be integrity, the value of being honest and ethical, no matter the circumstances. For others, it may be compassion, the desire to help others and contribute to their well-being. Some may value personal freedom above all else, while others may place importance on loyalty, growth, or resilience. Whatever your values may be, they are unique to you and reflect what you find most meaningful in life. Once you identify your core values, you need to evaluate how well your current actions and choices align with them. This can be an uncomfortable process because it often reveals discrepancies between your values and your behavior. You may realize that you've been compromising your integrity for convenience or ignoring your need for personal growth in favor of comfort. But this is not a reason for despair, it's an opportunity for change. When you see where your actions don't align with your values, you gain the insight necessary to make adjustments and live more authentically. Living according to your values brings clarity and focus. It's like having a blueprint for life that helps you navigate difficult decisions. When faced with challenges or choices, you can ask yourself, does this align with my core values? Does it bring me closer to the person I want to become? When your values are clear, making decisions becomes easier because you're no longer swayed by external opinions or transient desires. You become steadfast, knowing that each decision is an expression of who you are and who you want to be. Defining your values also means learning to protect them. Life will inevitably present situations where your values are tested, moments when taking the easy path may conflict with staying true to what you believe. This is when your values matter most. They act as a shield that keeps you grounded and focused, especially when external pressures try to pull you in different directions. When you hold your values as non-negotiable, you stand firm in your beliefs and make choices that reflect your true self. As you grow and evolve, your values may also shift or deepen, and that's perfectly natural. What's important is that you maintain the practice of regularly reflecting on them. Values are not static, they are part of an ongoing process of self-discovery. Periodically revisiting and refining your values ensures that you stay aligned with your evolving vision for your life and your future. This process of reevaluation keeps you connected to what truly matters, allowing you to live with greater intentionality and authenticity. Embracing discipline is perhaps one of the most crucial yet overlooked elements of mindset transformation. In a world that promotes instant gratification, where distractions are endless and convenience is often prioritized over effort, discipline has become a rare quality. But discipline is the bridge between where you are now and where you want to be. Without it, your dreams and goals remain distant and unfulfilled. Discipline is not a constraint. It is a form of freedom, a tool that allows you to take control of your life and steer it in the direction you choose. Discipline requires you to develop the ability to act in alignment with your values, goals, and purpose, even when the immediate rewards are not obvious. It's the strength to do what needs to be done, regardless of how you feel in the moment. It means waking up early to work on your goals, even when you'd rather stay in bed. It means pushing through difficulty and discomfort because you understand that these moments are not obstacles, but opportunities to grow stronger and more capable. To embrace discipline, you must first understand its foundation, consistency. Discipline is not about making grand gestures or pushing yourself to the limit once in a while. It's about doing what's necessary every day, even when the results aren't immediate or visible. This consistency compounds over time, building momentum, creating progress, and making even the most difficult tasks feel manageable. Discipline is also about choosing long-term gain over short-term pleasure. The world tempts you to indulge in easy pleasures, procrastination, avoidance, or distractions that pull you away from your higher purpose. But each time you choose discipline over these distractions, you reinforce a sense of control over your life. It's an act of self-respect as you acknowledge that you are worthy of the effort it takes to build a better future for yourself. In this sense, discipline is a direct manifestation of self-love. It is the ability to prioritize what is ultimately best for you, even when it requires sacrifice in the moment. The path to discipline is not always easy. You will encounter resistance, doubt, and frustration. There will be days when you don't feel motivated or when you question whether your efforts are worth it. But discipline doesn't rely on motivation, it relies on commitment. Motivation is fleeting. It can be here one day and gone the next. Discipline, on the other hand, is a commitment to action that persists through the absence of motivation. It is the internal promise that you will keep moving forward, no matter the obstacles. It's also important to recognize that discipline isn't about perfection, it's about progress. You're not expected to execute everything flawlessly, and you shouldn't expect to. The key is to keep going, to keep refining your approach, and to keep showing up day after day. When you stumble, discipline isn't about harsh self-criticism. It's about learning from your mistakes, recalibrating, and continuing the journey. Another aspect of embracing discipline is the ability to set clear, actionable goals. You cannot be disciplined in the abstract. Discipline thrives when there's a clear direction. Goals give you a roadmap, a specific target to aim for, and they help structure your day-to-day actions. Without goals, discipline loses its purpose and becomes a blind adherence to routine rather than a focused drive towards something meaningful. Discipline is also about mastering the little things. Often it's the small, seemingly insignificant actions that define whether we stay on track or not. Discipline means showing up to work on your project every day, even when it feels like there's no immediate reward. It means making your bed in the morning because it sets a tone of accomplishment for the rest of the day. It means sticking to your commitments regardless of how inconvenient they may seem. These small acts of discipline create the foundation for bigger achievements, and they give you a sense of pride and self-control. Lastly, discipline is interconnected with the idea of delayed gratification. In the age of immediate satisfaction, it can be easy to fall into the trap of quick fixes, shortcuts, or shallow pleasures that provide temporary relief. Discipline, however, teaches you the power of delayed rewards, the ability to make sacrifices now for the greater reward later. It's the understanding that the difficult, often uncomfortable work you put in today will pay dividends in the future, whether that's through physical fitness, financial success, or personal growth. When you embrace discipline, you are ultimately embracing the process of becoming the best version of yourself. It requires commitment, sacrifice, and focus, but it provides a sense of accomplishment and control over your life that few other qualities can match. In a world full of distractions and instant gratification, discipline is what sets you apart, allowing you to achieve what you truly desire and build the life you envision. Challenging your beliefs is one of the most powerful actions you can take in the journey toward mindset transformation. Your beliefs are the lens through which you view the world. They shape your thoughts, guide your behaviors, and influence your decisions. Many of these beliefs are deeply ingrained, shaped by your upbringing, culture, personal experiences, and societal influences. However, not all beliefs serve you well. Some are outdated, limiting, or even false. To transform your mindset, you must be willing to scrutinize the beliefs you hold, to question their validity, and to replace them when necessary with beliefs that better align with your true potential and the life you want to create. Beliefs are not objective truths. They are subjective interpretations of reality. What you believe to be true may not necessarily be true for everyone. And it certainly doesn't mean it is the only way to interpret a situation. This realization can be both freeing and unsettling. If your beliefs are simply interpretations, then they can be reshaped and revised. This opens up the possibility for growth, for replacing limiting beliefs that have been holding you back with empowering ones that propel you forward. The process of challenging your beliefs begins with awareness. You must first identify which beliefs you hold and examine where they come from. Are they inherited from your parents', community, or society? Are they based on personal experiences, or are they assumptions you made in a particular moment of your life that have since become fixed? It's important to recognize that many of your beliefs were formed in response to past events and may not be applicable to your present reality. By bringing awareness to them, you create the space for critical reflection. Next, you must assess whether your beliefs are serving you or limiting you. Are they empowering you to live fully, to take risks, to pursue your potential? Or are they keeping you stuck in fear, doubt, or inaction? A belief such as "I'm not good enough" or "I'll never succeed" is likely limiting and will prevent you from moving forward. A belief like "I am capable of learning and growing" or "failure is a necessary part of success" will encourage resilience and progress. By challenging your beliefs, you can begin to replace the ones that no longer serve you with those that propel you toward your goals. Part of challenging your beliefs is recognizing when they are based on fear rather than fact. Fear-based beliefs are often exaggerated and rooted in the unknown. For instance, you may have the belief that you will fail if you take a risk, but in reality, failure is a part of growth and learning. When you examine such beliefs, you can see that they are often distorted based on assumptions rather than evidence. Challenging these fears opens up the possibility of acting despite them, of seeing failure not as an end, but as a stepping stone to success. This process of questioning your beliefs can be uncomfortable, especially if those beliefs are foundational to your identity. If you have long believed that you are incapable of achieving something, letting go of that belief may require you to confront feelings of insecurity or inadequacy. But growth doesn't happen without discomfort. Challenging your beliefs often involves stepping outside your comfort zone and facing the very fears and uncertainties that those beliefs once protected you from. It requires the courage to let go of what's familiar, even if it means confronting the possibility that you've been wrong or limited in your thinking. A key component of this process is being open-minded. You must be willing to listen to alternative perspectives, to entertain new ideas, and to be open to change. This doesn't mean abandoning your principles, but rather being flexible enough to adapt your beliefs based on new experiences, evidence, and insights. The world is complex, and your perspective should evolve with it. The more open you are to challenging your beliefs, the more you allow yourself to grow and expand. Challenging your beliefs also involves seeking out new experiences that can provide evidence to support new beliefs. If you believe that you're not good at something, take steps to prove that belief wrong by engaging in activities that challenge that assumption. It's through action and new experiences that you test the validity of your beliefs. You might discover that the beliefs that once constrained you are no longer true, or that with practice you can develop new skills and capabilities you didn't think possible. Moreover, challenging your beliefs is not about abandoning all of them, but about refining them. Not all beliefs are harmful, and many are based on sound reasoning. What matters is ensuring that your beliefs are aligned with your values, purpose, and goals. For example, if you believe in the importance of kindness, that belief can be a source of strength that guides you in your relationships and interactions with others. But if you hold a belief based on fear or past trauma, such as a belief that all people will hurt you, it may be time to challenge that and open yourself to new, more empowering perspectives. By challenging your beliefs, you allow for growth and transformation. You give yourself the freedom to question your assumptions, learn new ways of thinking, and adopt beliefs that are more aligned with the life you want to create. This process doesn't happen overnight. It's an ongoing practice of self-awareness, reflection, and courage. But as you challenge your beliefs, you create the foundation for a more expansive, fulfilling life from where you are not bound by the limitations of outdated thinking, but are free to evolve into the person you are meant to be. Being open to feedback is one of the most valuable practices you can adopt in your quest for mindset transformation. Feedback, whether positive or critical, is an essential part of growth. It is a mirror that reflects aspects of yourself that you might not be able to see on your own. Without feedback, you remain blind to your blind spots, those areas of your life where you are unaware of the changes you need to make. Being open to feedback doesn't just mean listening to others. It means being receptive to what they have to say, willing to process it without defensiveness, and using it as a tool for improvement. The first step in embracing feedback is cultivating humility. Humility is not about diminishing your worth or abilities. It's about recognizing that you, like everyone else, have room to grow. It means acknowledging that you don't have all the answers and that there is always something to learn. This humility allows you to see feedback not as an attack on your character, but as an opportunity to improve yourself. It takes courage to admit that you are not perfect and that your perspective might be incomplete or flawed. But it is only when you approach feedback with humility that you can truly benefit from it. Being open to feedback also means setting aside your ego. Our egos often have a way of distorting feedback, turning constructive criticism into personal criticism. When someone tells us something we don't want to hear, it's easy to feel threatened or defensive, as though our very identity is being questioned. However, it's important to recognize that feedback is not about who you are as a person, but about the specific actions, behaviors, or decisions you've made. Separating your sense of self from your actions allows you to receive feedback more objectively and use it to fuel your growth rather than shutting down in response to it. Another critical aspect of being open to feedback is learning how to actively listen. This means focusing not just on the words someone is saying, but on the meaning behind those words. Too often, when we receive feedback, we are preparing our response in our minds instead of fully listening to the person providing the feedback. This prevents us from understanding the full scope of their perspective. Active listening requires patience and a willingness to hear things that might be uncomfortable. By truly listening, you can uncover valuable insights that may otherwise be missed. Feedback also requires discernment. Not all feedback is equally valuable, and not all feedback will apply to your situation. While it's essential to remain open, it's equally important to evaluate the source and context of the feedback you receive. Constructive feedback from someone you trust and respect is a powerful tool, but feedback from someone who doesn't understand your goals, values, or context might not be as helpful. Being open to feedback doesn't mean accepting everything you hear, but does mean being open enough to consider it thoughtfully and apply it when appropriate. One of the reasons we resist feedback is because it often highlights areas of weakness or failure. This can be difficult to face, especially if we take pride in our abilities or fear judgment. But feedback is not just about pointing out flaws, it's also about recognizing potential and growth opportunities. When you view feedback as a tool for self-improvement, rather than a judgment on your abilities, it becomes less threatening. Even if the feedback is critical, it is valuable because it directs your attention to areas where you can evolve. The key is to approach criticism not as an insult, but as a roadmap to becoming better. Incorporating feedback into your life also involves taking action. It's not enough to just hear it and acknowledge it. You must act on it. The most valuable feedback in the world is useless if you don't make the effort to implement it. This requires a commitment to continuous self-improvement. After receiving feedback, take the time to reflect on what you've learned, identify specific steps you can take to address the areas of improvement, and incorporate those changes into your behavior. Feedback is a catalyst for change, but only if you put in the work to apply it. Being open to feedback is not a one-time practice, it's an ongoing habit that must be nurtured. The more you invite feedback into your life, the more you will grow and evolve. It's important to seek feedback regularly, not just when it's given to you. By actively seeking out the perspectives of others, whether through formal reviews, conversations with mentors, or casual feedback from friends and colleagues, you can continuously refine your approach and keep improving. Lastly, remember that feedback is a two-way street. Just as you seek feedback from others, you must also be willing to offer feedback to those around you. Providing feedback to others helps you refine your own understanding and strengthens your relationships. Giving constructive feedback with kindness and clarity can be just as transformative as receiving it. By embracing both giving and receiving feedback, you create an environment of growth where everyone involved can learn, improve, and reach their highest potential. Ultimately, being open to feedback is a mindset that fosters growth, resilience, and continuous self-improvement. It allows you to step outside of your own limited perspective, confront areas that need work, and use those insights to build a better version of yourself. The willingness to receive feedback with an open mind and heart is a powerful practice that leads to greater self-awareness, personal growth, and success in all areas of life. Cultivating resilience is a cornerstone of transforming your mindset and developing the mental strength necessary to navigate the challenges of life. Resilience is not something you are simply born with, it's a skill that you can develop over time. It's the ability to bounce back from adversity, to adapt in the face of difficulties, and to persist in the pursuit of your goals despite setbacks and obstacles. Life is full of unexpected trials, disappointments, and hardships. Resilience is what allows you to keep going, even when things feel overwhelming. At its core, resilience begins with a shift in perspective. It's about seeing challenges not as insurmountable obstacles, but as opportunities for growth. When faced with adversity, many people instinctively react by feeling defeated, anxious, or hopeless. But resilient individuals choose to reframe the situation. They see struggles as part of the process, recognizing that adversity is a natural part of any meaningful journey. Resilience doesn't deny the pain or difficulty of a situation, it acknowledges it, but it also acknowledges that these moments are temporary and that they can serve as powerful teachers. One key element of resilience is the ability to regulate your emotions in the face of stress. When life gets tough, it's easy to fall into negative emotional states, frustration, anger, despair, but resilient individuals understand the importance of emotional control. They don't let their emotions dictate their actions. Instead, they acknowledge their emotions, process them in healthy ways, and take purposeful action despite them. This requires mental discipline and self-awareness. It's about recognizing when you are reacting impulsively or emotionally and choosing to pause, breathe, and take a more balanced approach. Another critical aspect of resilience is the capacity to learn from failure. Many people avoid failure because it's uncomfortable and they fear that it reflects negatively on them. But resilient people don't shy away from failure. They embrace it as a necessary part of growth. Every failure is an opportunity to learn and adjust. Instead of seeing failure as a permanent setback, resilient individuals view it as a temporary and valuable experience that provides feedback on how to improve. They don't take failure personally, rather they extract lessons from it and use those lessons to fuel their future success. Resilience also involves a sense of purpose and commitment to long-term goals. When you are deeply connected to your purpose, whether it's a personal vision, a career goal, or a sense of duty to others, resilience becomes easier to cultivate. A strong sense of purpose gives you the motivation to keep going, even when you face obstacles that might otherwise cause you to quit. It serves as a reminder of why you started in the first place, and it provides you with the strength to push through difficult times. People who are resilient don't give up just because things get hard. Their commitment to their purpose drives them forward, even when the road is uncertain or rocky. Support systems also play a crucial role in cultivating resilience. No one can go through life's challenges alone, and having a network of supportive friends, family, or mentors can make all the difference. Resilient people understand the value of connection, and they are not afraid to lean on others for encouragement, advice, or practical support when needed. Surrounding yourself with people who uplift you and offer constructive feedback helps you stay grounded and focused, especially during difficult moments. At the same time, resilient individuals also know the importance of giving back, of being there for others in times of need. This reciprocal support strengthens the overall resilience of your community. Building resilience also involves developing a mindset of flexibility. Life rarely goes according to plan, and things often don't turn out the way we expect. Resilient individuals are adaptable. They understand that while they may not always be able to control the external circumstances, they can control how they respond to them. Flexibility is the ability to adjust your approach, change direction when needed, and remain open to new possibilities. Rather than rigidly holding on to one path, resilient people are willing to pivot, experiment, and try new strategies when things aren't working. Taking care of your physical and mental health is another crucial component of resilience. You can't face life's challenges effectively if you are physically or mentally depleted. Resilience is built on a foundation of self-care, which includes eating well, exercising, getting enough sleep, and engaging in activities that nurture your mental well-being. Regularly practicing mindfulness or meditation can help you stay present, reduce stress, and improve your emotional resilience. These self-care practices enable you to face difficulties with a clearer, more focused mind and a stronger body, equipping you to handle adversity with greater ease. Resilience is also about having patience with yourself. Building resilience doesn't happen overnight, and it requires consistent effort over time. There will be setbacks, moments of doubt, and times when you feel like giving up. It's important to treat yourself with compassion during these moments. Recognize that resilience is a process and that every challenge you face is an opportunity to strengthen your ability to cope. Don't expect perfection from yourself, but rather progress. Celebrate the small victories and acknowledge the growth that happens even when things don't go as planned. One of the most powerful aspects of resilience is the ability to maintain hope and optimism even in the darkest times. The hope is not a naive belief that everything will be perfect, but a belief that things can get better and that you have the strength to make it through. Resilient people understand that adversity is temporary and they keep their eyes on the long-term goal. They are able to find meaning and purpose even in suffering, and they hold on to the belief that they will emerge stronger and wiser on the other side. Ultimately, cultivating resilience is about developing the mindset and habits that allow you to face life's challenges with strength, grace, and persistence. It's about refusing to let setbacks define you and instead using them as opportunities for growth and transformation. Resilience is not just about surviving adversity, it's about thriving in spite of it. When you cultivate resilience, you develop the inner fortitude to keep moving forward, no matter what life throws your way. In closing, it's important to recognize that life's greatest rewards are not found in the pursuit of comfort or ease, but in the pursuit of meaning. Comfort may give us temporary relief, but it is meaning that sustains us, that pushes us to grow, and that brings us lasting fulfillment. The challenges we face, the discomfort we encounter, and the sacrifices we make along the way are not obstacles to avoid, but opportunities to shape our character and to make a difference. So I encourage you to embrace discomfort, to seek purpose in every action, and to let meaning guide your choices. In doing so, you will not only transform your life, but you will also contribute to the world in ways that truly matter. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Today we're diving into one of the most fundamental shifts any human being can make, transforming their mindset. The way you perceive the world, yourself, and your place within it shapes everything: your success, your happiness, your resilience in the face of adversity. But transforming your mindset is not a simple task. It requires an unwavering commitment to honesty, discipline, and a willingness to confront the truths that most people avoid. Let me begin by saying this: your current mindset is not permanent. It's not etched into your being like some unchangeable characteristic. It's a product of your experiences, your upbringing, your society, and your choices. If your mindset is limiting you, stifling your potential, or making you unhappy, the good news is that it can be changed. And change, as difficult as it may seem, begins with a single decision: the decision to stop living in a way that doesn't align with your deepest values and highest potential. But transforming your mindset requires more than just wishful thinking. It requires you to take full responsibility for your life and to move forward with the courage to reshape your thoughts, beliefs, and actions. So, how do we achieve this? Accepting responsibility for your life is the foundation of transformation. Many people, consciously or unconsciously, live in a state of blame or denial, holding external forces responsible for their circumstances. They blame their upbringing, their environment, the economy, their relationships, or even their past mistakes for where they are in life. This mindset of external attribution keeps them trapped in a victim mentality. But the reality is this: no matter what life has thrown at you, you have the power to choose how you respond. This is where true personal power lies. Accepting responsibility means that you no longer wait for someone else to change your life or for external factors to align perfectly. You stop expecting that others should act in a way that makes you feel better or more successful. Instead, you look inward. You start recognizing that you have a say in how you think, how you react, and ultimately how you move forward. Responsibility isn't about feeling guilty or burdened by the past. It's about empowerment. It's about acknowledging that even if you didn't have control over the events that shaped you, you do have control over what you do next. You take ownership of your mistakes and learn from them. You recognize that the decisions you make today, regardless of what happened yesterday, will dictate the life you have tomorrow. This mindset shift can be challenging because it forces you to face the discomfort of truth. It requires you to stop making excuses and to let go of the crutch of external blame. It means you must confront the areas of your life where you have been passive and instead take active steps toward change. It might not be easy, but this is where the path to growth begins. When you take responsibility, you also begin to see that you are capable of creating the life you want. Every action, no matter how small, becomes a conscious decision toward the future you desire. You stop being at the mercy of the world and instead you stand in your own power. Confronting your fear is one of the most pivotal steps in transforming your mindset. Fear is an emotion that often holds people back, keeping them stuck in their comfort zones, far away from growth and opportunity. But fear, rather than being a sign to retreat, is often a signal that you are on the edge of something important, a place where change is possible. To transform your mindset, you must learn not to avoid fear, but to face it head on, understanding that it has much to teach you. Fear can take many forms. It might show up as anxiety about the future, a dread of failure, or a reluctance to take risks. It can manifest as self-doubt, fear of judgment, or fear of rejection. We often avoid situations that trigger fear because they bring discomfort. But the truth is, discomfort is the soil in which growth thrives. Every time you choose to face your fear rather than retreat, you expand your capacity to deal with adversity and develop the resilience necessary for success. To confront fear, you first have to acknowledge it without judgment. Fear is not a weakness, nor does it define you. It's simply a part of being human. You can't wish it away, nor should you. Instead, you need to become curious about it. What is it trying to tell you? Often, fear points to something significant, a challenge that, if faced, could lead to personal growth, achievement, or greater self-understanding. Fear is not the enemy, it's a guide that can lead you toward the things that matter most. It's important to recognize that fear doesn't disappear overnight. You don't suddenly become fearless. You become capable of moving forward despite your fear. Every step you take towards something that scares you diminishes its hold over you. Over time, as you repeatedly confront your fears, you begin to realize that they are often much smaller in reality than they appear in your mind. The anticipation of fear is often far worse than the actual experience of it. By facing it, you demystify and reclaim your power. Taking action in the face of fear doesn't always mean taking giant leaps. Sometimes it's about taking small, deliberate steps. You don't have to conquer everything at once, but you must start somewhere. Each action, no matter how small, reprograms your mind and teaches you that fear does not control you. With each step, you build confidence, and with that confidence comes the courage to face even greater fears. Confronting your fear is an act of personal liberation. When you challenge the things that scare you, you redefine the boundaries of what's possible. You stop living in reaction to your fears and start living with intention, purpose, and a willingness to explore the unknown. Fear may never fully disappear, but when you choose to confront it, instead of letting it dominate your life, you take back the power to shape your future. Defining your values is an essential aspect of transforming your mindset because it serves as your internal compass. In a world full of distractions, pressures, and expectations, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters to you. Without a clear sense of your values, you become vulnerable to living according to the values imposed by other society, family, peers, or even fleeting trends. This can lead to a life that feels disconnected, inauthentic, and ultimately unsatisfying. But when you clearly define your own values, you gain the clarity and strength to make choices that align with who you truly are.